Everyone, welcome back to a new post today. Yesterday there was a cloud seeding experiment that was taking place in Delhi to induce rainfall or precipitation, especially due to the high pollution levels of stubble burning and the recent Diwali as well. So let's today discuss an important issue about cloud seeding experiment, very important from the UPSC and even the group's point of view, especially with regard to science and technology. You need to know what exactly is cloud seeding. You need to know when clouds cause precipitation, and you also have to have an idea of about the material that is used to artificially induce rainfall or cloud seeding. So for clouds to precipitate, water vapor first must condense into droplets on condensation, on condensation nuclei like dust or smoke particles or even salt particles to form clouds. Then these droplets and ice crystals must grow large enough due to coalescence and collision and or ice crystal formation process until they are heavy enough to be held above in the atmosphere, and the cloud becomes saturated with water droplets or ice crystals where it cannot no longer hold them together in the cloud, and therefore they precipitate on the ground in the form of rain, snow and hail. Now this precipitation happens due to a drop in temperature that can be due to orographic, that is rising of the air on the mountain slope, convectional, that is normal rising of the air due to convection currents, and also frontal, when there is a meeting of cold and warm airs. So these are the conditions needed for cloud to precipitate. As I told you, the most important conditions that are needed for cloud formation is condensation on nuclei, which is dust, smoke, salt, etc. And saturation, the air must become saturated, meaning the relative humidity must be 100%. That means the cloud should be 100% filled with water droplets or vapor, and this happens when cool air reaches its dew point. Droplet or crystal formation. The cloud droplets are too small to fall on the ground, therefore they must become large enough to be heavy to be carried, and therefore only then they can fall on the ground. Now this can happen when coalescence happens, that is warm clouds, when water droplets collide and merge with each other in warm clouds, and ice crystal process, which is called as cold clouds. In clouds with the ice crystals and super cold water droplets, water vapor transfers from droplets to ice crystals, causing the ice crystal to grow larger and therefore reaching the saturation point where the cloud cannot hold them. So cloud seeding is a method where the substances are dispersed into the air to serve as cloud condensation or ice nuclei. Common agents that are used are silver iodide, potassium iodide, dry salt, and even common salt or table salt as well. So this is due to the ability to attract the moisture. Techniques vary from static seeding, which encourages ice particles formation in supercooled clouds, to increase in precipitation, and to dynamic seeding, where it is designed to enhance convective cloud development through the release of latent heat. So there are two techniques. One is your static seeding and one is your dynamic seeding. Now cloud seeding involves spraying of salt mixture into the clouds. The science is that such seeding, when done by aircraft fitted with flares which fire the salt mixture into the clouds, can induce water vapor within the clouds to form water droplets. And now two flights have been carried out in Delhi by IIT Kanpur on October 28th when their own flights were used for the cloud seeding experiment, but it was sad that the results were disappointing and no rainfall was triggered. Now this can happen because there is no uplifting of the air mass, and another thing is that there is no saturation of the clouds, and that is why the rainfall could not be induced. Now for the first time in 50 years, Delhi conducted these two cloud seeding trials with Indian Institute of Kanpur taking the responsibility. The aim was to induce rainfall over Delhi to build strong smog and particle matter that deteriorated, to settle the smog and the particulate matter that had been deteriorated the air quality, that is due to stubble burning and the Diwali crackers as well. So as I told you, cloud seeding involves spraying of this mixture into the clouds artificially to make them as a nuclei where the water vapor can settle around them. The science is that when it is done by aircraft fitted with flares that fire these mixture into the cloud, they can induce or ice or water vapor within the clouds to form droplets. When lots of droplets coalesce, they pour down as rain. So previously, the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology had taken up an exercise called as CAPEX exercise. It's called Cloud Aerosol Interaction Precipitation Enhancement Exercise. So it is cloud aerosol interaction and precipitation enhancement experiment. It was a scientific investigation to quantify if there were any benefits from cloud seeding, to investigate cloud aerosol interaction, that is to understand how changes in the aerosol particles affect the micro physical properties of clouds, and precipitation enhancement, that is to investigate and improve the effectiveness of cloud seeding techniques for increasing rainfall, specifically using hygroscopic seeding. Now this experiment was conducted in the drought prone region of Solapur, Maharashtra, and a natural testing ground to measure enhancement. Once the clouds were identified, they flew aircraft and fired calcium chloride into the clouds, and the overall finding was that Solapur did definitely get some extra amount of rainfall, 46% more rain than the unseeded locations. So, but in Delhi, the results were disappointing. No rainfall was triggered, and though the researchers said that some parts of Delhi did get some light drizzle and small improvement in air quality. The drawback was the quality of clouds. I told you, maybe there is lack of hygroscopic nuclei, or maybe there is lack of saturation of the clouds and cooling of the clouds, that is uplifting of the clouds for fall in temperature for the rain, for the clouds to be saturated. This exercise demonstrated that only monsoon clouds, now the CAPEX exercise of the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology demonstrated that only monsoon clouds had certain quantity of moisture and they could hope to yield sufficient water. So important condition is that the cloud should have that sufficient amount of moisture for coalescence and coalition, so that they can induce droplet formation and precipitation. So this is an important finding, and we came to know that the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology did conduct such experiment. Your knowledge about this experiment, along with the particles that are needed for your cloud seeding, what is the procedure of cloud seeding, what is the condition for cloud formation, is very important not only for your answer writing preliminary but also in your interview as well. So this was the topic of the day I thought I should be discussing with you all, and these were the important points which will help you, especially as a basis where you can further develop. Many countries do test this cloud seeding, especially even China as well. And there is other countries also have tried it and it has been successful. So these are the points that I wanted to share with you. If you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. I shall see you tomorrow in another most important topic of the day, and until then, it's very happy learning.